to build a dream house in Costa Rica.
What are the do's?
This is our treatment plan.
I love it. I love it. I'm totally convinced. And what the don'ts?
We did a mistake. This is the mistake we did because we were too slow.
Where are the little pitfalls?
I know when I make a mistake now, I will have to live with it forever.
And where are the big opportunities?
What is very different when you build in the tropics?
Wow, that's rain.
And to make sure we don't get bored, we're building 2 dream houses at the same time. We've been filming each other almost daily for the past 15 months. The production of the roof is the coolest thing I ever saw.
Which progress, no?
Biggest adventure of our life. This is our story. We have definitely an idea and the conviction that this idea is a pretty good one. We, by the way, this is my charming Swiss wife, Esther.
And my constantly babbling but ultimately very lovable German husband, Andi.
So, okay, I have to mention, we were not completely clueless when we started this project because we've built a house in Costa Rica before, the greenhouse.
The greenhouse is actually 3 houses. It's 2 studios and 1 bigger apartment, and it's located in the beautiful mountains of Santa Teresa. The greenhouse changed my life completely. Not at the beginning, because at the beginning I was still in Germany working my ass off. But after some years, it made me move here and start a new life. So it changed everything completely, actually. I just didn't realize at the beginning that it will. The difference for our second and hopefully last big project, the first time in 2018, we were not here most of the time. We are TV producers based in Germany in normal life, so we were in Europe for almost the whole construction period and only got a fraction of what actually goes on in construction.
I don't need to know everything either. If you have a good dose of common sense and you think a bit like logical and you have a concept in your mind, you can do everything, right? Believe in yourself, believe in other people's expertise. That's it.
So this time we went to Costa Rica to do everything ourselves.
Of course, with the help of some people with knowledge, because I have 2 left hands, but I have many ideas.
For the duration of the construction, we rented an apartment, managed our German projects online mostly from a distance, and threw ourselves into a new, really big adventure in Santa Teresa. Building 2 houses, turning our lives upside down, and doing everything completely different than before.
For those of you who have never heard about Santa Teresa, this is all you need to know. Santa Teresa is one of the dream destinations in Costa Rica, probably of the world. Known for 365 days of waves for surfers, dry tropical rainforest with monkeys, lizards, parrots and so on.
Good yoga studios on every corner. You have amazing restaurants and coffee shops. And we completely forgot. We have the most beautiful beaches in the world. It's a place of PURA VIDA. If you want to build a house in Costa Rica, forget everything you ever knew before about building a house, because everything will be completely different. I mean, it's a bit weird to say that because I never built a house before. But I mean from the mentality.
Alright, enough of the preface into the project. Let's explain the idea of the 2 houses.
Casa Winter is my house because it's named after me. The working title is Casa Winter because it's my last name. Casa Winter is a loft with clear lines and actually walls, which a loft usually doesn't have. But I don't want to have people in my room when I have sex or I go to the bathroom. So we decided to build some walls, even though it's a loft. It's basically a very simple design. For most people, simple is maybe a negative word, but I love it. Everything in Casa Winter is about design. Basically, we knew exactly how it looks when we started it. Casa Shrimp, also known as Casa Camaron, used to be in the form of a shrimp tail. I can't really remember why, but it was in German you would say it was like a brain fuck idea. It was a moment, and since then it's called Casa Shrimp.
We're building the house together with Julie Martin, our friend and manager of our first house, the greenhouse.
Casa Shrimp is an L-shaped villa with 3 bedrooms and a huge living room, kitchen, chilling area. The main design aspect is contrasts. I loved most is the huge overhanging roof. It's massive. I forgot the number, it's like 2 or 3 meters over the house.
420.
So it's 420, bigger than the house. It's huge, 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 huge.
Obviously, there are no houses without an architectural plan. We needed actually a total of 6 months until we had the ideas of the 2 houses together, so that we are now completely convinced and both houses were coordinated. So now it is a matter of details, but ultimately important to achieve the optimal result. For example, where are the beds in the large villa and where exactly are the toilets? All a question of feng shui, obviously, but a lot of own experience from our countless trips all over the world.
In another design, I put the beds here. I have an issue here with so long 3 meters veranda.
I put it here or here.
Actually,
I always
it's
feel
better.
more comfortable because this is like you're sitting
Yes.
on a chair,
Looking to the front.
always staring. I would always position the bed sidewards and not straight. And the reason is simple. In our experience, it's way more cozy to sleep sidewards and you have more space to design the room. So it's a win-win situation to be with the back to the wall, to the side, and not straight, because straight is like stiff.
That's what I'm saying. So if we do that,
Yeah.
we just do the bed here,
Yes.
you have a full-on situation with maybe a day bed.
Exactly. So you can go inside here, so you can switch it if you like to, so it's easy. This is the situation actually I like the most, because now we are at the time when we start to go into the details. So it's the finishing of everything. You see exactly what you are. You have the concept, and now you go into details to make it nicer and nicer, more livable for the people. I like that because now it comes to the point of kind of creativity. From theory to practice of the country and understand what is actually possible on the land. Salva is already waiting, as always, fully focused. Hello, my hero. How are you doing?
You woke me up.
Tough work. How are you doing?
All good yourself?
Yeah, great.
Lief dich.
Ich liebe dich.
Ich liebe dich.
Ich liebe dich.
Langsam mehr.
Langsamer?
Ja.
Ich liebe dich.
Liebe dich.
Ich?
Schnitzel lieb dich.
Nein, ich liebe dich.
Ich liebe dich.
Our architect is a styler.
Yes,
What?
you are so stylish.
Your hat.
Why?
Well, I don't know why you're born like this. This is what you can learn. You have it or you have it not.
I'm chubby.
You're chubby? No.
As you can see, our land is on a hill. Makes the whole thing super nice, but not easier.
So what's going on?
16, 9.
16.9? And? Does it fit? It's tight.
I don't know if you go with the corner there, if you are touching neighbor's land. I don't mind about there, but I do mind about there because that's the access of the other neighbor.
I know.
Whatever happens, we need to be pushed out from this. Here you can go in walking and you get in. We cannot put the house backwards.
Not too far. A little, but not too far.
Look.
Yeah, here. There's the line. But this is never 9 meter, huh?
No, this is 16.
Yeah, the 16 is not a problem. Isn't the 9 a problem?
No, the 9 is not a problem.
No? Okay. What do you think? How far can we go? How many meters do we have there? From there?
14.
14.
What's the discussion about?
We need to check the exact measures of the property because we have neighbors, so we have to take care of the neighbors, of course. And we have to check where we can exactly put the house because we have to take care of our second house as well. So it should fit, it's all in relation to each other and in proportion. So what's the best line? How much space do we have and how do we stack the house finally?
Creativity needs good organization, otherwise it all comes to nothing. After all, an idea must also fit on the land. Or as Salva always says,
Listen to the land. And he's right, listen to the land is everything. Every land, every property, every environment has its specifics. And the land guides you to the plan, to the architectural plan, to the idea, if you really listen to it. Because you have different surfaces, you have different soils, you have different locations, you have different views, you have different trees, animals, everything is different. So listen to it and you have the best possible result.
we booked an expert to show us the boundaries of our land so that we could match the houses optimally.
We have a visitor. I can spell it. Topographer.
That's really easy.
No,
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. A topographer is here now.
a topographer?
Topographer.
A topographer. And he's taking measures of our land that we know where our land begins and where it ends, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So we don't want to bore you. We show you now
Exactly.
some men.
So here's my recommendation, but I don't want to spell the word. I have fear to spell this word. Topographer. So my recommendation is before you start building and measuring a land, ask a topographer to come by and go over the land and see where exactly your boundaries, the limits of your property are. You really need to see where your land ends and where. So to see the possibilities, the opportunities that the land achieves for you, and try to understand what the land is telling you and follow this and listen to your architect because it's really important. Plus, I don't want to be like too missionary, but I still believe the less you touch the land, the more you receive back afterwards after you finish everything. Decisive for us how to place the front smaller house so that the rear larger house behind still has the full ocean view without reducing the small house's quality. I thought it's an easy job to do that.
Where is he? Oh,
Damn shit.
here he is.
What makes this project for us special, because it's totally different than the first one, that we have two houses not on the same structure or on the same level. What we have here, we have one house on the higher level and one house on a lower level. So we need to measure it. The two houses should fit. It's one concept, it's one idea. You can destroy the work on one house if you stack the house wrong of the other house. What's the challenge?
The challenge is when you have a land, you have to think of where do you put it, that it makes sense, that you have a good energy on the land, and that one house doesn't disturb the other house. Like the house on top doesn't cheat just the roof and still has the view, or that you don't hear each other too much. Many different things. It's like how you put your furniture into your flat, that it's comfy and a good energy.
Muchachos, el nivel del piso de la casa es donde estamos parados. Sí, pero vos ahí de ahí no tenés 4,5 metros.
Ahí es lo más que podemos bajarnos ahí.
So what do you think? It's too high, huh?
The house is too high. Why we don't make one pitch? Salva, ¿por qué no le hacemos un agua y listo? Un agua mínimo de pendiente, que sea casi plano. Es que está demasiado alto, mira, venía a verlo. Because if I do one pitch, the minimum desnivel,
You mean
I lower the house 2 meters.
So the problem is that the roof from our house, so from the loft, is too high. It would bother this house here. So we need to find a solution to lower the house. So it's always like mind work.
I just flip down this, flip down that, and also that meter 20 overhang on the lateral, and that meter 20 overhang on the other lateral.
So we make it more basic, like a box.
Say to the neighbor.
I totally agree.
So the solution for Casa Winter is, could you please be quiet? So the solution for winter is to make a one-pitch roof, because it lowers the whole house for like 2 meters. That gives Shrimp, the house above, a lot better view. So basically we have ocean view and forest view instead of roof view. The side effect of having a one-pitched roof with like the flapped down sides is that we create a box. We first measure the smaller loft, our box, to better understand the impact on the larger villa higher up. What we learned in Santa Teresa: keep as much nature as possible. She thanks you with a cool breeze, lots of animals and privacy.
So what's the next step?
Stacking the land, I think.
Finally, yes, we took the measures of the land. So now we know the lines, the exact lines. So we prepared the land, and finally we are ready to stack the house, right?
I think so.
Now they're checking the final line where the house is ending. And from there, all the way 16 meters down. However, it's not so safe to put a house in the hill of Santa Teresa between the rocks, right? I wasn't aware that to find the measures of the house can be so complicated and dangerous. Like, well, dangerous, but it's kind of adventure.
You have to be a goat.
Yes.
Here you park,
parking, this is the
boom, boom, and here I start to go down.
like this. Okay.
That's why it needs to be a loop.
Yeah.
So when I going down, I go like.
I like this. Yeah, no.
Todo esto, nivel 0, y acá, sobre la mera montaña, la escalinata para llegar a la casa.
So what's the plan?
They need to put this in 0 level and pour a concrete floor. The way they were going to put the concrete floor is going to be the best way.
The problem child so far, we will find a solution, is the loft. But this is more about like the exact measures. So the next step is that they are digging the point zero, punta zero, kind of?
A 0 level.
Zero level, yeah. Thank you. And once they've done this, we can finalize the measures of this house, and then we can start.
When Arnaiz comes and do the 0 level, we stake the house again. We cannot stake anything because of the... We need to take out those effing...
And who is this guy?
A guy who has better machinery.
Like the tuk-tuk-tuk-tuk.
The machine has come and the could begin. That looks like super quick and super easy, but let me tell you, it was a nightmare for the poor lads, because they did it with a machine, not the one Salva was talking about, because this machine never arrived. So they had to do it by hand, basically, with the tuk-tuk-tuk-tuk machine in their hand. And I think it took them more than 3 weeks.
Continuing with our large villa, working title Shrimp. Shrimp because the original idea had the shape of the shrimp tail. But the shrimp tail became an L shape due to the nature of the land. But even that has its challenge. An L shape takes up a lot of space in the structure. Advantage: you are protected, it's super cozy, everything is centrally accessible. Disadvantage: you need a lot of meters. When you go for a project of 2 houses and they are related to each other, you always take care of everything and of course of the neighbors as well, because you're not alone in this world, right? The biggest value generally and especially in Santa Teresa is privacy. So it's about the size. So don't buy something too small, too narrow. It's not about the ocean view. It's about the nature, yes, but not necessarily the ocean view. But the combination of the forest with all the animals plus the ocean view, what I would recommend is try to find something spacious and save the majority of all the trees and combine the ocean view always with a jungle view, because the jungle gives you refreshment, plus you have a connection, you have way more animals around you. And why are you in Costa Rica? Because of the animals, right?
¿Podemos hacer 22 metros de esta línea en cualquier lado? Bueno, y ahora de ahí tira 6,10.
The question of which part of the house, which room is exactly where. Unfortunately, if you make a mistake here, it will remain forever. So now we need to find the lines of this property and to see where we can exactly start the house. Looks easier, but what's complicated here is that we are going to float in the jungle there. Well, it's complicated because you're building on a mountain. And building on a mountain, it's not that easy. It's a challenge and it's fun. Well, look at the greenhouse. Did you ever imagine that you could build like a house like this when we started there? But we did, so.
I love the shoes. They're basically not existing anymore.
My shoes are melting with the underground, so I became
Earth.
Forest.
Here is a little tip for what to wear on construction. Wear good shoes or rubber boots.
Yeah, I know, thank you.
Wow. Hugging in the rain.
One lesson is...
Hurry up, your phone will break.
Yes. Building a house in the rainy season is sometimes even harder. Wow, that's rain.
$7.50 más 3. O sea...
Rainy season. Building in a rainy season, yeah. But rainy season is crazy. Like, especially this rainy season, I don't even know like how big is the challenge for a constructor building a house under these conditions, because it changes every 5 minutes, like the conditions. Like once you have a structure, it's okay. Once you have a roof, it's okay. But until then, sometimes you have to stop a construction just because it starts raining. You showed me the pool?
Yeah.
All right.
What's the status here? With
So the conclusion is that we are 2 steps further and 1 step back.
Okay.
Yay! We can start. So let's go to the adventure.